Awesome, the podcast where anything goes. I'll have you know.
Hey, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, assholes and cunts alike. Welcome into another I'll Have You Know podcast. I hope we're all doing well with myself here, Sailor Kev or Kev, and over there, the Gorman or Jace, as I always call him.
What's happening, boys? What's happening, girls? What's happening, all you Hebrew cunts? How are you all doing?
Hebrews.
Starting off on a wild one.
Where did that come from, man? What the fuck? I'll let you explain what people obviously know what we're going to talk about tonight. Natalia. Oh, fuck's sake, I can't even speak. Natalia.
Jesus,
there we go.
Welcome
in.
Take a breath.
Chef, welcome in as well. Hey, come on, man. You know, I've been ill. I'm old. I can't help myself. Do you know what I mean? So, but guys and girls, we're going to basically talk about fucking drugs tonight. Not fucking drugs, but we're going to talk about drugs.
Yeah.
I'll let Jace give you a little insight of where we're going to go with this. So you carry on, buddy.
Yeah, so we thought it'd be a good idea to talk about drugs, like it says. So I've actually wrote down a few things here because fuck trying to remember the name like chlorpromazine, you know, like fucking whoever comes up with these names is clearly a mad scientist.
Do you reckon they sit there and actually fucking like laugh while they're making these names up?
Oh, absolutely. It's a dyslexic cunt on acid who comes up with the names for this fucking shit. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck? So I have 3 antipsychotics down here. And the reason why I've chose these 3 is because I've been on one back when I was a kid. 2 of them, I know a couple of people that have been on them. One of them is actually quite common as well. And I've chosen 3 recreational drugs that I've used and abused in my lifetime as well. So we've got that down. I think Kev's got his own kind of options as well.
Yeah, so I'm gonna basically start talking about antidepressants and stuff like that. Obviously, I've been on antidepressants myself, dealt with PTSD and stuff like that. So it's always something to talk about with that side of things. Also, more about like it's not necessarily like what they actually do, it's more what I've been through with them, same as like Jay's saying with the drugs that I've taken as well. So I'm not going to sit back and say, oh no, it's just you that's taken these. I've taken a certain amount of drugs myself. Also want to talk about steroids. I've done steroids back in my bodybuilding days, so that's something else I want to bring up, the good side and the bad side about things basically. And we're not here to turn around and say like drugs are bad. Like majority of people know drugs are fucking bad or whatever. It's your own like description of what you think is good and bad at the end of the day. So but yeah, go for it, Jason. You want to start, mate? We'll go down that route, Lou.
Yeah, so perfect. Natalia, Tanisha, how you doing?
Yeah, hey T.
Yeah, so I thought we'd start off with the first ever antipsychotic, which is chlorpromazine, or its brand name is Thorazine. So it was like I said, it was the first one. It was created in the 40s, perfected in the 50s, moved on from that. Partly it was the world's best breakthrough in psychiatry. And it was this is the drug. I have not been on this one. I know someone that was on it. It was a family member actually, who took it and died anyway, but that is what it is. That's what happens.
Is that dying from psychosis or was that dying from the actual medication?
So he had psychosis.
Okay.
And that was the reason why he was on it, because this chlorpromazine, it was used for treating mild psychosis, schizophrenia. In some aspects, it was the manic phase of bipolar, is what it was.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, the drug itself was met with a mass amount of controversy when it first came out due to the human testing. I mean, everybody gets tested on it one time or another. Back then, it was all mad scientists in little fucking labs,
Yeah.
40s to 50s, fucking 60s onwards. But yeah, so the drug itself actually was used for delirium in patients that had AIDS,
Okay.
which is weird.
Very
Really weird how that's all kind of intertwined.
It's weird how it's connected together with AIDS. Like you wouldn't think like
Yeah.
psychosis would go with AIDS, but obviously like
Yeah.
back, finding out you had AIDS back then was obviously a fucking massive trauma thing where
Oh, I bet. Even now it's a fucking trauma thing. It's not
well,
fucking
like
better.
HIV, yeah, it's a trauma thing, but it's controllable. Do you know what I mean? And stuff like that now. But whereas back then, you were pretty much it was a death sentence, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah,
So
it was. Yeah.
yeah.
I guess it was. Yeah. So the drug it's not addictive, but you do get withdrawals from it, like you do in any drug. But withdrawals are similar to the likes of any other antipsychotic or antidepressant, insomnia, shakes, sweats, stuff like that. But I wrote down the 5 major side effects of the drug, and I think 4 of these was developed by my family member who died from it.
Okay.
So you got a mass amount of weight gain on it.
Uh-huh.
You got 3 times more likely in causing sedation, passing out, stuff like that. Acute movement disorder, like muscle spasms and stuff like that. You can contract Parkinson's from taking too much of the. That's mental.
That's
Taking
crazy.
too much of the Thorazine, you can contract Parkinson's. I mean, that's fucked. And tardive dyskinesia. Tardive dyskinesia? Yeah, that's how you say it. Fuck it. Like I said, the words are fucked. I'm dyslexic and I'm trying to fucking pronounce words.
That's cool. That's cool.
Bigger than my fucking name.
Yeah.
Like fuck. So yeah, so Parkinson's, he didn't get that, but he got the sedation, the acute movement disorder, the tardive, and the massive weight gain. It was a big weight gain.
Do you not think it's quite crazy? Like obviously taking a certain drug to help you with like psychosis and stuff like that can also lead to depression and anxiety due to weight gain. Parkinson's, stuff like that. Obviously, and then it's almost like one bit of medication is leading on to 5 extra bits of medication to sort those fucking problems out, and it's like a vicious circle, really, isn't it? It's like you're constantly going to be battling the pills for the majority of your fucking life at the end of the day.
Yeah. See, I don't like pharmaceutical side of drugs. I can't say I wouldn't like to put chemicals in my body. I've put a lot of shit in my body that's probably been stamped over and over. But it is. It's an antidepressant.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's fucked up. It's weird. I don't like
Charlotte, welcome in. Sorry.
Fucking hell. It's there.
It's just, yeah, like I said, it's a very strange, like obviously if you're suffering from something like bipolar and stuff like that, that's a fucking challenge as it is, dealing with your own fucking your mental health issues without having the extra side effects off a tablet. That's going to try and balance it.
It's a major side effect. There was no minimal side effects either. There wasn't something like, oh, I'm going to take this and then I might get the shakes or I might get the sweats. There was no minimal side effects to it. I mean, there might be if you were looking into it deeper, but just off the bat, it was major side effects that I wrote down.
Do you think the major side effects were like pretty much guaranteed, or?
Yeah, so they were guaranteed. Almost 80% of patients contracted at least 3 out of the 5, and
80%.
80% of them.
That's fucking.
Well, that's it. It's mental. I mean, that was the first antipsychotic. It was developed in the 40s and it was apparently perfected in the 50s. But it's you can't just walk into like say Boots or any pharmacy and say, I want this, I'm fucked. You need to
Yeah.
be prescribed it from the doctor straight up off the bat, you know?
But you know, I think as well, it's quite traumatizing the fact that how easily accessible this is to doctors just to
Yeah.
fucking wing you off or like it's the same with antidepressants, isn't it? It's like, oh, you're feeling a bit low, right? We'll give you these tablets. There's no push into checking what's actually wrong with your fucking head before they give you the tablets.
The thing is, like I said at the start, right? This Thorazine or chlorpromazine, whichever way you want to put it, brand name and the actual name, it was used for chronic psychosis, manic phase of bipolar, and then delirium and AIDS patients. Like that's a mix. You go from psychosis to bipolar, and then complete delirium in people that have AIDS. That's fact, you know.
Yeah, but you imagine, right? So it's something that can deal with AIDS, and then you take it, and you could potentially get Parkinson's as well on top of fucking AIDS. And
yeah,
wow, do you know what I mean? Like it make you sit there and think, do I want to fucking take this? Do you know what I mean? Like obviously, you know, my mum's had breast cancer recently, and she's got over it and stuff. And they want to do test trials on her. They want her to carry on taking this medication to prevent the breast cancer coming back. And she actually turned around to me
What's
today.
the medication? Do you know?
Say again.
What was the medication?
I can't remember the name of it. I off the top of my head. It just kind of things like that just made me think about it. And don't get me wrong, test trials and stuff are great, but my mum's like, you know, she's nearly 68. She's been really fucking ill with the medication she took to the point where she didn't want to fucking take it. She would rather die, and that's fucking horrific. And she literally turned around to me today and said, "I'm not going to do it because." She says, I don't want to feel that ill again, especially if it's not actually there. The cancer is gone. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, and I was like, look, you know, would you want to sit with the rest of your life feeling fucking sick all the time or actually just enjoy yourself and fucking move on? And I said to her, look, you got to do what's right for you at the end of the day. It's your life, you know? And okay, as much as I want my mum here, I don't want her to be fucking upset, ill. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, how else would they do these test trials and stuff? I get why they do it. I do, but sorry, I don't know why I went off on that one. It's just because we talked about it today. And
part of medication, isn't it? It's part of the drugs.
100%, yeah. Sorry, mate.
No, so that was basically like. So my family member, he died on that. He, like I said, he contracted the sedation, the weight gain, the acute movement disorder, and the tardive dyskinesia. Oh, I said that fucking fast. That was well good. Fuck yeah. That was
me to do that again?
I'm drinking Lucozade more. It's kicking in. Of course. So yeah, I thought that was good one to talk about. Short and sweet. Yeah. Next one is something that probably everybody's heard of, actually. I know one of our guys, he says he's had it. I have never been on this myself, but I know quite a few people that have had this one. And it's risperidone, or Risperdal is the brand name.
Okay, has it got any like fucking normal like street name or anything like that you'd know it as?
Risperidone, that is the street name.
I've genuinely never heard of it. Yeah, I've never heard of it.
So the drug was developed in the 80s, approved by the American Food and Drug Administration in 93, and then it was worldwide distribution. And this was used for bipolar in adults, autism in children, and it was shown to help those with OCD. Fucking forgot the name of it, OCD developments or whatever. But it wasn't necessarily used for schizophrenia, even though it's an antipsychotic.
Okay.
And that was the reason why I put that down there, is just because of that aspect, the fact that it's bipolar in adults but autism in children. Like the drug knows what if you're an adult or a kid or whatever, you know.
I guess it goes by obviously what's going on with your brain at certain ages. Do you know what I mean? You must have like different receptacles or whatever going in your brain for certain ages. You know, this bit fires off here, and when you know in your teens, and then this bit here when you're in your 20s, and I don't know. That's probably obviously science side of things, but
I know a few people have been on this, and you've got your common side effects and sleepiness, dizziness, and trouble seeing, which is weird.
Yeah.
Risperidone is horrid. Yeah, so I know, like, so the common side effects: sleepiness, dizziness, trouble seeing. Major side effects: tardive dyskinesia again, and increased. And this is a weird part for it to be an antipsychotic. It's got a high death and stroke rate if you are on risperidone and somehow get dementia. So if you, for some reason you get dementia and you're still on this, that death rate goes up, like significantly up. And it's also got an increased risk of suicide, which is weird for it to be an antipsychotic. And that's the reason why I put it down there, because I know a lot of people that have been on it. Now, I know a lot of people that have abused this drug as well, purely on the common side effects of the dizziness and the sleepiness. So much risperidone and some spirits, whiskey, vodka, whatever way you pour it, even common beer. It gave you a catalyst of like a junkie state of being on Valium. And it's a fucking stretches there. It is horrid. It's brutal. It's a horrible fucking drug.
So people are actually abusing this drug
Yes.
for like, oh, made you hallucinate. So obviously, like that was the kind of side effect for you, Stretch, the hallucination. But obviously, people were taking this to get that hallucination state.
Well, that's it. In 2003, it was approved and slightly altered in the ingredients for schizophrenia. But there was a new study that just came out in 2018 that risperidone became the most prescribed drug for psychosis in the UK.
It's so crazy though that I've never heard of it. I probably have heard of it, or it's just fucking bypassed me, or something like that. I don't know, But to me, it's
the name is risperidone. The other name or the brand name is Risperdal.
okay.
This is the most common drug that a doctor will try and give you. It's not addictive, but if you're taking it for a while and you suddenly come off it, like say I've taken it for 5 weeks straight, and then today you take yourself off it, you'll be met with difficulty sleeping, feeling sick, constant sweats, and sometimes a complete shutdown of your nervous system, enough for you to conduct complete insomnia.
So it's kind of like to coming off antidepressants, really, as well.
Yeah.
That same kind of fucking hell, man. That's insane.
That's brutal. That's mental. And I know, like I said, I know a lot of people have been on it. A lot of people abuse this even to this day. They'll have nothing wrong with them. They'll pretend that they're on, or they'll pretend that there's something wrong with them. They'll go to the doctor and they'll say, look, so this is the case. I'm feeling down. I'm feeling depressed. Can you do something? And without the doctor even giving a shit, half the time they'll just prescribe you this risperidone. And I know some junkies that'll be getting it prescribed over and over and over on a repeat prescription, and they're either selling it to other people on the street. You can get a risperidone tablet for like £1.50 per tablet. You're selling that, you're getting 20 in a box, 20 times 150, whatever the fuck that is. That's a lot of money when you're getting that prescribed weekly.
Definitely.
Yeah. A lot of people abuse it enough just to get that dizzy state or that fucking sleepiness, kind of just like going for it. It's it's really close to ADHD tablets.
Yeah, like Rohypnol and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, man. It's the side effects that are really fucking hitting me hard. That's something that's really shocking me, actually.
Yeah.
From something like that.
The third one, sorry, is the one that I've been on when I was a kid. Now, anybody who knows me knows that I don't take medication. I don't like it. They also know that I've got schizophrenia. So this one is clozapine, or Denzapine is the brand name. Now, this is a last resort, and anybody that's got schizophrenia or really hard bipolar thing, this is the last resort. So this one is for people that have either conducted an immunity to the likes of risperidone or any other antidepressant, antipsychotic. Even some people that have got an intolerance to naproxen, which is a pain relief, paracetamol, ibuprofen, stuff like that. This is the one that they would go to. But this also is the one with severe psychosis and bipolar, stuff like that. So this was actually it was under the other name what's that fucking Leponex. Fuck me.
Do you need these, mate?
It's not the reading, it's the fucking pronunciations.
I know, right? I know.
Fucking words, man. I'm telling you what. A group of cunts sat on a round table and thought, we're just gonna fuck cunts up. We're not gonna fuck them up mentally, we're gonna fuck them up speech wise. We're just gonna get fucking full shebang and rape the cunts. This is the way to do it, you know?
Oh, fucking hell.
So this was world spread in Switzerland in 72. In 75, it was given to all the hospitals, but only hospitals. It's not an addictive drug, but it's got fatal side effects. So you can conduct. So say I'm on this, right, and I'm sitting the way I'm sitting right now.
Yeah.
If I move my arm a little bit, or if I even clench my neck, being on this can cause a severe low blood pressure and just changing your body motion a slight little piece. It's fucking brutal. You get serious seizures from it. So if you've never had blackouts or epilepsy in your life, and you're taking this, and all of a sudden you're starting to get them, and the doctor's like, "Oh, well, I don't know where they're coming from." It's this drug. 100% it's this drug. This is the one that this gives you seizures. You get an inflammation of the heart. Again, with the dementia, your survivability just it decreases. It goes down. You're gone. And it causes cardiac toxicity as well. Like, it can actually shut down all your organs inside. It's a brutal fucking drug.
Wow.
It's mental. And I had this as a fucking kid.
So how old were you when you were taking this? Can you remember? Or
I was about 13.
Okay. And did you get any side effects yourself from this?
I did not. I got a little bit of a seizure. I had a couple of blackouts afterwards. I've never had blackouts since I was like fucking 15, 16.
Yeah.
But that's when I was taking off this shit.
Okay.
And then I've never been on I've never been on medication since I was about 16, to be fair. I don't like it. I don't like taking it.
Was that your choice though? Were you advised to carry on taking it, or
the advice was actually from the doctor at the time
to come off it?
The doctor was like, well, maybe we're just going to take them off. We'll put you on something else. I didn't go on anything else. I just stopped taking it. I didn't do it.
And did you do it properly? Did you come off it did you just stop, or did you actually?
It was a weaning process. It was a weaning process. So there's actually, it's not an addictive drug, but I've got here. If you're taking off this treatment suddenly, the effects of it is profuse sweating, nausea, insomnia, and an abundance of saliva, which is a weird thing. It's like you're on rabies or some shit, you know?
Yeah.
And a high increased rate of psychosis, which didn't fucking affect me anyway, or maybe it did. But you know, so there's that.
Yeah, man, that's fucking
I was taken off that. Yeah,
that's really crazy, and to be put on that at such an early age as well. That's quite scary in a way.
Yeah, I wasn't given a chance in that.
No.
But that's only 3 psychotics I want to put down, just because of its personal experience on it. I don't know much about anything else of any other psychotics or too much into that drugs. That's just the main points that I went over my head over and over and wrote it down and thought, fuck it, this is what I'm going to
So do you know what people are being prescribed now, if you know what I mean? Are they still
Risperidone.
Is still being pushed?
It's still risperidone. So that one there I was just talking about, they're giving that less and less to people because of the fatal side effects.
Yeah.
But because risperidone has minor side effects, sleepiness, dizziness, that's the one that they're going to at the moment. In 2018, it was the most prescribed drug. Obviously, COVID hit. So 19, 20, we're now in 21. I don't know what the statistic is now, but it could be increased a hell of a lot more.
Definitely.
It might not be.
Same with a lot of drugs. I reckon a lot of antidepressants have gone out a lot more with COVID and what's going on. Hey, Steve, dude, how you doing, brother? I hope you're well. I think a lot.
What's up, Stevie baby?
It's quite scary at what the world is at the moment with everything that's happened.
Yeah.
You know, you're going from people that have pure social lives to being fucking locked away. It's basically being in a prison, you know.
Well, that's it. I think because of that aspect, most people will go to the doctor now and be like, "Look, I'm depressed. I don't want to deal with people. I don't want to go out. I know a lot of people have got a severe lack in work ethic now.
Oh,
And
mate,
I think,
I've been there. I've been
yeah,
there.
I think the doctors now will just be prescribing fucking risperidone left, right, and center. And
Yeah.
the thing is, there's no age gap on it. I mean,
No.
there is, so long as you're older than 12. If you're over than 12, risperidone is the way to go. That's where the doctors will go, and it's not ideal. If you walk in and be like, I'm depressed, they'll be like, okay, risperidone. I've got anxiety. Okay, risperidone. They don't care. That's the go-to thing, you know. I think
It's
a lot of aspects in mental health is all about fucking talking about it, but when you're
therapy, I would say, is a massive factor of mental
absolutely,
health.
but you're suppressed on that because the doctor just throws out
This
shitty
is
medications.
exactly what I was saying to you earlier. It's so easy
Yeah.
to just prescribe something because it's available. I think that's one thing that where I kind of knock the NHS because it's so easily like given. Whereas if you're in the States and you're paying for your medication and stuff like that, you know the medication, you wouldn't want to pay that much for it, so you want to seek fucking other alternatives, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean and stuff? Hey, Danica, how you doing? Yeah, we love you too, Steve. Thank you, bro.
Love you,
But
bro. So risperidone. I don't think that's in America, but the other two are that I mentioned.
yeah,
The first one was actually started off in America. Fuck, I can't even remember the name of it now. Fucking words, dude. Like, fuck me. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fucking insane, man. It's a scarier where like you and do you know what the scary thing as well is that the fact that if you're told like to take a prescription drug, it's like, oh, it's okay, it's prescribed to me. It's there's nothing wrong with that. It's
People don't look into the
legally
aspects
given
of it.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you instantly think it's a good thing for you, where a lot of people won't. Like going back into antidepressants in a minute. Now, you know, I didn't really look into any antidepressants before I started taking it. I was just told by the doctor this is going to help cure me. You know?
Like, if you were to go to somebody and say to them, if like say they're on any one of the drugs that I mentioned, right? I'm like, so what's the health benefits of it? What is the health benefits? What is your benefits? What are they going to say to you? They're not going to say, oh well, I've got energy. I feel rejuvenated. I feel like I want to go for a fucking run or hike a mountain, maybe jump off a building now and again. You know, you don't get that adrenaline surge. There's no health benefit.
No, but you can get all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they're going to say, well,
you can get that from fucking eating healthy, or you can get that from training and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
If you ask someone how they're feeling on them drugs, that's like, I'm feeling sluggish, I'm feeling tired, a bit dizzy, can't really be bothered to do anything today. Like, that's not a way to go. It's a suppression. You don't. What's the point of being suppressed?
There isn't, mate. It isn't. We all need a kind of stimulant in our life to keep us going, you know, and it's
exactly, and that's for. So obviously, you've got your ones that you're about to talk about, but that's why we've got the recreational drugs at the second part of this, because it's them stimulants that people turn to when the doctors fuck up on prescribed medications.
Yeah, 100% agree with you, man. That's fucking insane. And it's like I say, I know I keep saying it's scary. It's scary. It genuinely is fucking scary at how easily accessible these things are.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and like I said, from people that you're supposed to trust as well. That's the fucking, you know, you can go to your local drug dealer and get something and you know you're doing something fucking dodgy, but because the doctors are giving you, oh, it's all right. It's fucking bullshit. That's fucking nuts. That is fucking nuts. So you got anything else on that, or do you want to move on? Or
no, the only ones I got left are the 3 recreational drugs that I've picked personally because I've done them personally.
That's cool. So we shall I go on to a little bit about fucking antidepressants then? And
absolutely.
I don't know if you've suffered any kind of depression.
Watching, if you have any experiences in any of the things that we're talking about, chuck it up. Like
Yeah.
that's the whole reason for the live chat is so we all have this chat. You might have personal views on any of the matters that we have our personal views on. I know I'm against that shit, and I'm going to be dead against that. But you guys might not be, and it might help you. So jump up, tell us.
Definitely. Like I said last week, we're not here to bite your heads off. We want to kind of understand things, and we also don't want to make ourselves look like this is the right way of looking at things. If you do have any kind of problems or anything like that, it is advised to seek medical.
He's right, absolutely right. Although there is one recreational drug that I am going to prescribe.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. But anyway, we've got to be quite careful in certain aspects of what we say here. We're not drug pushers or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? But it's like what we can recommend has actually helped us out. One thing I'm going to recommend, like I'm going to talk about now, is something that in my own personal life, how it affected me didn't fucking help me. And that's antidepressants. You kind of look at, like, I don't know whether you've suffered any kind of, well, I think you said you suffered a little bit of anxiety recently and like something that you'd never had before, but have you ever suffered from depression yourself or anything like that?
I have been depressed since I was a kid. Actually, I've always been depressed, but I maintained it well.
So you're one of these people that can, you know something's wrong, but you can deal with it. You know how to deal with it.
My depression's never been like I've always been depressed, but it's never been at the heightened point where it takes over. I think my schizophrenia kind of keeps that in motion. And I mean, half of the people that know me that are watching, you all know I'm not exactly sane. I'm out there, but I don't come across as if I'm depressed. I am depressed, and when I'm away from the screen, I'm away from like the Call of Duty. It's a different aspect. I'm alone with my own demons, but I've never taken. I think actually there is one antidepressant I've taken. I think it was an antidepressant. It was citalopram.
Yeah,
I think that's the only one I've ever had, and that was 2006.
How long were you on that for? Do you know?
I was on that for about a month.
Okay, so usually antidepressants take 3 weeks to kick in anyway, so you probably didn't get any real effect from it.
Yeah, you know what? I was taking it for a month, and I realized that I went against basically everything I was. Like, I hated it. I hated doing that shit. So I stopped taking it. I came off it myself.
Yeah. So did you wean yourself off or stop that?
No, I just stopped it straight up. Just stopped. So
that can be very dangerous. I'm just saying that, but I don't think you took it long enough to actually experience any kind of dangers of that side of it.
I combated it well because I was taking a lot of cocaine back then.
Mm-hmm.
So that obviously
you probably find that the cocaine was actually cancelling everything out. So
a lot of it, you know what, it did a lot of the time. I was constantly on it years ago.
Yeah.
To the point where I would never get the come down because I was always on it. I was taking it every day.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say how I can afford it, but I went through it. I had it every day and I never had a come down. So I never felt the aspect of that increased depression, anxiety straight after a session of being on it because it was a complete session. I was always on it. I was always pushing it. I was always doing it. But yeah, no, I have depression, but it's, never had nothing really for it.
So obviously you said you had that quite badly when you were younger, but now you're kind of learning how to deal with certain aspects of it. And
yeah.
So obviously I went down the route and I was basically told I had depression. It wasn't a case of, I don't know if I genuinely had depression or not. I think I was pushed that way because it was trying to solve a different kind of problem in my life at the time. And so I went to a doctor's, as you do. Instantly that day I was put on fluoxetine, which is basically Prozac. What Prozac is in America, which is SSRI. That really, really didn't do me any favors at all. I kind of found that it was, I wouldn't say this one did it the most, but it was making me feel more numb than anything. And I'm quite a heart-filled person. I genuinely love people and stuff like that and being nice and stuff. But this was actually cutting out a lot of my lifestyle where I started not caring about things. to the point
That's
where
that's the point where you're like you're weird about it, isn't it?
yeah, but the problem is like
Not
because
being
I was so
controlled.
because I was so giving and loving and caring, to go to the point where I didn't care. I didn't give a fuck about giving people love and stuff like that. It actually put me back in my chair and thought, I don't want to be like this. This isn't the kind of person I am. Do you know what I mean? It was changing me to numb out all the shit that was going on in my life, but also removing a lot of things. And it was going to the point where I like, not that I didn't care about my kids. It was like, they're my children and that was it. You know, it was my child and that was it. There was no, and I felt like I was losing love for my actual fucking children, which was scary. Not, I say my children because my little boy wasn't born then, but my daughter mainly, which was really hard. And also I went through a stage of where I was, which is quite hard. It was, I didn't want to see my daughter because I didn't want her to see me in the state I was in.
You not find being on antidepressants and antipsychotics that having no control over your own actions is a bit weird too.
I've always been. That's why I mean, I could talk about alcohol. I gave up alcohol for 14 years once because I used to get so violent on it that I'd black out and I won't remember the night. So I was like, right, I can't do it. I was in the forces at the time. And I think I threatened one of the lieutenants. I had him up by the throat on a bar in one of the places we docked up. And the next day I didn't remember a thing and I got told and I got dragged into the office and stuff like that. And I was like, this is starting to affect my life, if you get what I mean. So I gave up the alcohol. Sorry, I don't know where I was actually going with that. Sorry, but what fucking hell? I completely lost context of where I was going with that. Fuck. I think I'm still ill.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is when age is a factor in life.
It is, man. It is. This is the problem. My fucking brain's full of dust. But I think I was where I was going on about not caring and stuff like that. Like to give up the alcohol, I knew I had to stop that to carry on with my life. You know, my daughter had just been born and stuff like that. But yeah, I was going through the stages.
17 now, right?
She's 17 now. Yeah, going to be 18 next year.
A couple of years ago, then.
Yeah, I literally gave up when I gave up a year before she was born, and she was 14 when I had my first drink again. Oh, that's what. Sorry, I know exactly where you're going. Losing control. This is the problem. Like I since giving up alcohol, I fear not being in control of my own body or my own mind, and that's why I won't touch certain drugs. I won't do anything like that anymore because of that. Like I don't like the feeling of losing control. It actually fears me. It puts fear into me in that kind of aspect. Not the fear of me doing it, is the fear of me doing something that I wouldn't normally do, if you know what I mean, and upsetting people due to it. So it's scary, man. It's fucking mental.
What? Being not in control, being in control, upsetting people isn't something I've ever been on.
Well, I know you fucking love doing that, and I actually
love
do
doing
find
that.
it.
But you know what it is?
It's fucking hilarious.
So offended nowadays. Who gives a fuck? You know.
Mate, you're so right. You know, it's
ridiculous. You can't.
I think that
anybody.
I'm not going down the route of like offending people. I'm on about the route of doing something fucking drastically fucking wrong because I'm on something. Do you know what I mean? And
it's still a good time at the time, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind saying things and pissing people off in that aspect, but if I was to hit somebody or
like
do
deleting
something,
certain Call of Duty friends that you've known for such a long time,
fucking prick. Yeah, something like that. But that's something that yeah, no, but you know the reasons behind that. You know, I'm not going to sit here and deal with fucking bullshit anymore, and I'm not going to fucking listen to like drama that's not needed. I think we went into that last week anyway, but sorry guys, I'm literally brains fucking firing all over the place. But yeah, I think it was more the feeling of numbness. You know, at the end of the day, antidepressants started like it was in the 50s that they started using opioids as an antidepressant.
Before I think that was the main point of the heightened point of psychiatry actually was the 50s, because like I said, that antipsychotic was getting developed in the 40s, but everything was the 50s. Germany, America, Switzerland, all that sort of shit. It was all the 50s.
Yeah.
See,
I don't know. I'm gonna fucking die. I don't know if they're laughing at me being a fucking moron or what you're saying, but yeah. So like, I think it was then in the 70s where you got the next stage of antidepressants started kicking in and they started pushing out. So you went from your opioids and then became a different kind of drug that came out. I'm trying to think what it's called. It's like Zymolodine or something it was called. And it was released through the FDA. And then 1988 I'm just reading something here. 1988 became the first like blockbuster SSRI, fluoxetine, and that's where obviously Prozac started coming in.
So I know the 80s. You said about the 70s. The 60s, near the late 60s, was more when medication for depressants, antidepressants, sorry, and antipsychotics. That's when it was at the heightened point of getting perfected, and it's because of one of the things here one of the recreational drugs.
Psychedelics started kicking in.
The 60s was such a fucking hippie fest, wasn't it?
Oh, 100%. And like we can go down the other route of like LSD and stuff like that. That's
what was the 60s like?
Yeah. You're such a fucking cog. I was actually born in the 70s, I'll have and I lasted 3 months.
How you know?
But yeah, so moving on, and then obviously fluoxetine came into it was 1988 that came through, which obviously is Prozac. And I think every single person on this planet pretty much knows a lot about Prozac and stuff like that, if you get what I'm saying. So you've all heard of Prozac. At the end of the day, we know it over here as fluoxetine.
That's right. Prozac is that's the fucking the American word, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the American word for fluoxetine.
Then
you got like stuff like citralopram, sertraline, and you can go on more and more. There's different kinds.
Citralopram, fluoxetine. There was another one as well. It was fucking, I can't remember what it's called, but they're all relatively similar.
Similar, yeah. Just with different kind of side effects and stuff like that. Like I said, my main side, obviously I'm going to talk more about what happened with me. Is the main side effects for me was the numbness of life, and not actually caring about things. But I did the fateful mistake of literally coming off my medication straight away, and that was after being on it for about a year, and it fucked me up a lot, fucked me up massively, mentally, which to the point then I had to go down the therapy route, which, like, I don't know if we were talking about this before we came on live, but I genuinely think therapy is the best option you could ever go for, bar drugs, if you know what I mean. If you don't, I think if you actually succeed in therapy, I'm talking a proper 12-week fucking course of therapy, I don't think you need to go down the drug route. That's my genuine opinion. I don't think you need to go down it. And the thing is, you can sit there and talk.
Anybody needs to go down the drug route, to be honest, dude.
No, they don't, mate. But the problem is, a lot of people go to therapy and they'll sit there and they won't tell the whole fucking truth. They won't say, "Oh, I was taking drugs for fucking 5 years," or "I was fucking dealing," or doing. They'll literally hide something, and that one thing that you're hiding away from your therapist could be the pinpoint of what they can turn around and say, "Actually, that is your fucking problem, and that's what we need to work on."
I think, and this is just my opinion, 100% my opinion, and only because I love history. I've got a big fascination about history, and I'm not talking about what happened yesterday or last week or 100 years ago. I'm talking about actual fucking history, ancient history, right? For the ancient history, you never once seen some cunt that was scripted down on a tablet or like a stone tablet, not a fucking electronic one, by the way, for all you gens. But like ancient history, you never seen it written down that this guy or this king or this queen or this knight or this barbarian had depression and anxiety. It was never there. I think the idea of depression and anxieties and stuff like that is built upon throughout living in clusters of human interaction, concrete jungle. Even some foods I know can give people psychosis and some severe mental issues, and then to combat that, the Food Society and the Food FDA or whatever it is, they decide to start doing pharmaceuticals, and then it's like a vicious circle. So you're eating certain shit that's giving you certain issues that they're then giving you the cure of the shit they're giving you.
Yeah.
So again, that's my personal view on it, and it's a fucking deep one at that.
It's almost like we'll give you this shit food, so then you need the medication that we're supplying to fix you.
For keeping everybody in power, all the elites. It's a fucking circle, and then we're in a loop. It's how the governments keep us control. Again,
Yeah.
it's deep, and I can chat shit about that quite well, but I'm not gonna because that's a different fucking side of a
It is a
podcast.
different one. Yeah.
But it's there, you know.
Yeah. So I mean, there's not much more I other than like I think that well over, in my own opinion, there's too many people on fucking medication for depression,
Absolutely.
anxiety that genuinely
100%.
don't need it. I think Jace would agree with me today as well. Health, fitness, training, eating right. That is a hell of a fucking therapy for you as well. The healthy mind and stuff like that can really lead you away from depression and anxiety.
Honestly, I've dealt with it for that many years. I genuinely think the gym helps a lot. And I'll tell you what as well, and I don't like to promote it because a lot of issues nowadays of getting kids out to play and climb trees and shit is gaming. But gaming helps me quite well too.
Massively.
But I can get away with saying that now because I'm 30, I'm working full time. So if
Dude,
I'm
I've done
working,
the climbing the
coming home,
trees. Do you know what I mean? I've done that, you know, and it's like
I've climbed
this is
trees, I've ate mud, I've ate worms, I've
Yeah.
danced in fucking fuck shit and horse shit. I don't care. You know, we were all kids and we
Yeah.
all done that back in the day. And we didn't really have consoles growing up. But now that seems to be the getaway for people.
Yeah.
But again,
I don't think it's a getaway for people. I think it's a getaway for a lot of parents. A lot of parents are
it
wanting
is,
to.
but for me, it's a getaway for because I mean, you know the shit I'm dealing with right now, and
Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah.
So when I go up on to the Xbox, I forget that that's my reality, and then I jump into the Xbox, and then that's a reality I'm creating, and I'm creating a family that I've already got. I mean, we've
Yeah.
got our group chat, we've got each other. You know, that's what I created in combating my
Definitely.
depression.
I
anxieties.
could not agree with you more, mate, because that is exactly. I know when I put those headphones on, I turn that game on, and I connect with you guys. All this fucking other shit in my life disappears.
Yeah,
And for those
absolutely, it
2,
does.
3, 4 hours, I don't think about shit. But as soon as I turn it off, boom, my fucking head goes again, and I start thinking about things, and it's crazy. It's nice
Yeah,
to
an
hear.
escape,
Charlotte,
exactly.
you're right. It's an escape. It's a massive escape. And we all need a little bit of escapism, whether it's in video games, it's in a movie, it's in a TV show, it's in a book, you know.
The gym
100%.
helps a lot. And
Just-
honestly, that's a whole new podcast that I think people are going to be interested in hearing us talk about is the gym. Your aspect on bodybuilding, my aspect on powerlifting. It's
Yeah.
two different sides of two things that we've not done.
But it's same
it
connection,
helps
isn't it?
mental health so much.
Same connection. Like obviously the two things are completely different, but it also draws in for the same mental ability of what you're doing at that time.
Yeah.
And I think it's like even just drinking water, you know. I do not drink enough fucking water these days, but when I was training, I was drinking 5 liters a day water. And again, that's so good for your fucking body. Do you know what I mean? It's flushing all the toxins out and shit like that. It's great.
Stretch, you keep escaping. I like you being my tech whiz.
But yeah, like
you're definitely.
I can imagine, like for Stretch, the amount of shit he does for so many people and what he does is literally shutting off all the bullshit that's going on in your head as well. So, because you're too busy to fucking know what's going on, which is good. But it's why I started playing COD. Really, T, is that why? Just to.
I'm surprised COD wasn't the cause of depression.
I tell you what, sometimes it is.
Fuck it, it's a cause of anger, man. Especially if you have to do.
You know, as much as I fucking want to go on COD's actually fucking brought a lot of us together. So I can't.
It has brought us together. And
Yeah.
I should mention before we go into the recreational drugs that on October 6th, we're getting the open Battlefield 6 beta. Which you all know because I fucking plastered it everywhere. And I'm hoping we can all get together on that. But
100% be on there, mate. So you got no problems with that.
Yeah.
Right. Do you want to move on? So, like I said, that's my. I'm not going to talk about the ins and outs of antidepressants. I'm going to talk about what it did for me, and that's what it did. It made me numb. I wasn't that person. I'm not a numb person. I do love, I do care, and I do want to help people out. And I never want to be in the situation where I didn't care or I had no empathy towards people. And I'm quite glad that I came off it, and I feel that love and appreciation again. So, but you know, like I say, everything we're saying now, don't always go and take it as gospel. You know, go and seek medical advice, go and get therapy if you need to get it.
Yeah, but when you are seeking medical advice, I recommend looking that shit up while you're fucking talking to the cunt.
Definitely.
Because,
You know,
like I said, the ones that I've just put down there, they're not going to tell you that you're going to fucking die if you get
No.
dementia and there's no cure because you're on that shit, or
Yeah.
if you're going to have some respiratory fucking issues or cardiac toxicity. They're not going to tell you that shit.
No, do a lot of research, guys, into like before you actually turn around and commit yourself to this, because
What's up, dude?
yeah, you need to fucking know what's no worries, Hal, don't worry about that, dude.
Yeah, Markov, it's 8 p.m. now, it's not 9 p.m., dude.
Yeah. But yeah, it's one of those things, like, please do seek some kind of advice and please do a bit of research into whatever you're taking, because you know, this is our own views of what we've been through and stuff like that, which is quite easy to deal with, but everybody's going to deal with stuff differently, you know, and just do a little bit of fucking self-help and get out there and actually look into this, you know, what you are putting into your body at the end of the day. Right, Jace, do you want to move on to what you want to go on to now?
Yeah, sure. So as you guys know, it's coming up 9 o'clock, but we're just gonna wing it now. We're just for this one episode because I don't have work tonight, and we know that this was going to be a big subject, and we didn't want to be biased just by putting down some recreational shit. So we're going to move on to ecstasy. Try not to smile too much when I say that. Ecstasy. So when someone says ecstasy, people think straight up it's a fucking recreational drug, and we're all going to get fucking smashed at the weekend. Our jaws have got to chew our lips. We're going to go out. We're going to sweat on some bird. Fucking finger on the dance floor. That's the sort of shit. Nah. Ecstasy was actually used at one point. It was created in 1912 to stop abnormal bleeding in the chest and I think the lungs, which is also obviously the chest.
It's fucking insane, mate, to stop bleeding. This is the crazy thing, you know.
That's
something
the
that's
exact
open
thing.
your mind up.
When ecstasy thins your fucking blood, like what is going to? I mean, I suppose it does work like that. I guess. It was later used for psychotherapy. So I've got here. It's so ecstasy was given to 22 army veterans, 3 firefighters, and 2 police officers, right? And all 27 of them, they suffer from PTSD. They were given a high dosage of MDMA, which is ecstasy, Mandy, Molly, whichever way you want to put it. And out of the 27, 16 of them no longer suffer from PTSD. Yeah. And then they had to start weaning them off the drug because one came off it straight away and suffered headaches, anxiety, muscle tension, and fatigue. That was only that wasn't permanent anyway.
But the thing is, you can get stuff like that just like stopping drinking coffee, man. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, you can get that. Weirdly enough, you can get that just by stopping eating chocolate. Chocolate is just as addictive as heroin.
It's little things that you're so used to having in your life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's
exactly sugar, for instance. Yeah,
definitely.
So, yeah, ecstasy it's a stimulant drug and a hallucinogenic drug with an energizing effect. We all know the effects. You get a fishy finger from touching the bird on the dance floor.
Disco biscuit fucking finger, mate. That's what it was.
Disco fanny.
Disco
you get high sex drive. You get a complete and utter bullshit tendency to chat utter shit.
Yeah.
You get hallucinogenic.
You know what I love about sorry, man, I got a butt in. Do you know what I loved about ecstasy? It was the fact that there was no hatred, man, was there? There was like
no, there fucking wasn't, dude.
Love, man.
I took ecstasy that much that like my sex drive went out. Right, it went skyrocket, and at one point I thought I was going to fuck my couch. I was touching it. I was like, "Fuck, this feels good." Like, what the fuck's this? You know? And I remember which one it was too. It was a red Superman, and I took maybe 3 of them, and the walls started melting. My eyes were like fucking everywhere. My jaw was chinning. I had a bottle of Buckfast, and the Buckfast went down. I had my fabric. It was this chair, but it's the couch, the bigger couch, and I was just sat there. I was like, this feels good. And I was just rubbing myself and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I was like, I just need to get up and go for a walk.
Fucking Baloo off fucking Jungle Book, mate, rubbing his back
It
on the
was fucking, I like, there's all sorts of different ecstasy tablets. You get like fucking Supermans and blueberries and fucking Iron Mans, Transformers, all that sort of shit. All different.
Don't make me go back into the days where I used to fucking take it, man.
Okay,
Mixed
so back in the
Dusties.
days when I used to take it, they weren't as strong as the days that you used to take it.
Exactly, mate.
It's that's it. But
Half a pill
yeah.
used to fuck us up, dude. Back in my day, half a pill, man. We used to
I
share a pill. Me and a mate would share a pill, mate. Like, you
Really?
didn't need. Yeah.
wow, dude, if I shared a pill, we didn't get a fucking hit.
Honestly, dude, it was that fucking strong back then, man.
And so the recreational side of it. So yeah, like it was used in medicinal purposes first. It's not an addictive drug, but it can be for certain people. But I loved it. You got heart,
Would you
your heart
say-
rate went up as well. Obviously, you were sweating. You were energy driven. You got hallucinogenic, and you know what? It helped people, and it
Yeah.
fucking people loved that shit. And just if you combated your weekend on, say you were taking it on the Friday, and then on the Saturday you were like, "Fuck it, that's me done." Instead of getting
Yeah.
your come down and you drank, or
Yeah.
for my instances, you drink fresh orange juice, it combated the come down. So
Yeah.
you weren't getting the aspects of depression and fucking anxiety and any of that sort of shit, or feeling down or whatever. You just you woke up and you felt hungry and you still had a fucking hard on. And
Yeah.
this
Do
color
you know what,
finger.
man? Like, there's a film that I watched years ago, and I think a lot of people know what it is. Is one of the best films I've seen that describes a night out on drugs, and it was called Human Traffic, with Danny
That's
Dyer. And I tell you what, go back and watch it, guys, because it's one of those films where it really summed up my era of fucking growing up, basically, like the 90s and stuff like that. That was when Raven and all that came in and stuff like that, where ecstasy was quite fucking brutal, and it was fun and exciting. But the thing that really put me off, and I don't know if you remember, you might be too young to remember this, but I remember there was a police officer and his daughter died from taking ecstasy, and her name was Leah Bates. And it was
I distinctly remember the name.
Leah Bates, she was called. And the reason that it stuck in my head was the case of he had it plastered all over the news. And I remember looking at, I think it was a Sun newspaper or something like that. And it was basically her comatose with all these fucking tubes and wires in it. And it fucking, I won't lie, man, it fucking scared me. It fucking scared me, man.
Tell you the film that freaked me out a little bit. Now it's not one of the ones I've got written here. It's heroin. I've never ever touched it. I've never taken it in my life. I disagree with it. I do not like it. But on the aspect of talking about films, it's a Scottish film made in Edinburgh. Trainspotting.
Yeah,
Ewan
100%.
McGregor. It was made in
Robert
Edinburgh.
Carlyle,
That's a
mate.
fucking brutal fucking film. Like
Big B, Robert
part of the
Carlyle,
baby.
man.
Now he's a bit of the baby. He's weaning off the heroin, and the baby's crawling up the fucking wall and it's spinning. I'm like, whoa. And I'm like, what the fuck am I watching here? It was mental. Rise of the Foot Soldier, that's actually a true story. Carlton Leach.
I've met all the guys, the original guys,
Carlton Leach,
and I've also met I've spoken to the guy who directed Rise of the Foot. So I think his name's Neil, because I was nearly going to be in one of the actual. I used to want to be an actor, you see, and I wanted to get into that. And
I met Carlton Leach for a different aspect of it that I'm not going to be putting anywhere near on podcast. But I met Carlton Leach. And you know what? Steroids fucked him up big style.
Yeah.
I know it showed that in the film, but it didn't show the true thing of it, you know, and that was a fuck up and a half. Like, but yeah, anyway, fucking ecstasy, loved it.
So, like, obviously, there's different forms of ecstasy. You got ecstasy, Mandy. You got fucking MDMA. You know, there's different strengths and stuff like that. I've never done MDMA. I've done, like, obviously the pill form, but I've never touched it.
MDMA is it comes kind of crystallized. You can snort it. It's not ideal. I did not like.
No, you're supposed to bomb it, really, aren't you?
You bomb that shit. You snort MDMA. It hurts. It's so
it's like glass, isn't it? It's like snorting glass.
It is glass. Yeah. Like, so if Mandy is a powder form of MDMA, That's just it's just MDMA crystallized and it's ground down, and you can snort that shit. It's just the same. It's all pure stuff, you know.
Yeah, definitely. So you got Mandy. What other drugs were you going to move on to through that, man? You were going to go to recreational wise. Here we go.
Okay.
So this next drug, which I think Jace is going to go and talk about, is something that we've both been part of.
Different aspects of both sides of it.
Yeah. And it's also, as much as it's an enjoyable drug, it's a fucking
It's a killer.
It's a life wrecker in my eyes. It's genuinely a life wrecker.
Yeah, it is.
So I'll let you say the words because I like the way the Scottish said this word. So
what's that?
Go on. What are we going to talk about now?
So the start of cocaine, everybody knows it's a fucking plant, right? Yeah. Indigenous people chewed the fuck out of that plant. The Spanish tried to ban it when they first fucking landed in South America. They realized that nobody was working hard, so they taxed it, legalized it, and it started progressing. There's all different ways of taking cocaine: sniffing, injecting, smoking, chewing the leaf, or bombing. Honestly, I've taken that much cocaine in my life. It's not even fucking funny. Like, it's a lot. And the majority of it was sniffing. Like, my nose is disfigured. You can see it from here. It's disfigured. Yeah. I've never injected. I've never smoked in my life. Never learned anything like that. I've never chewed the leaf. I've bombed it a few times when the nose gets bunged up and fucked and you can't breathe and your eyes, your sinuses are all fucking gone.
Sudafed.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people today that'll buy a shit ton of cocaine and they'll rock it back. For anybody that doesn't know what that is, rocking it back is creating crack cocaine, and it's commonly used with either bicarb or pneumonia and a little bit of water, sometimes with cotton wool or just a wee bit of paper, and it's drawn out, it's dried, it's cracked, and it's smoked. It's fucking horrible. I've never done it, but I've been around people that have done it, and I've been around people that have smoked it, and it's a vile fucking smell.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the effects of cocaine. You get anxiety from it, depression, paranoia. You get an increased sex drive, even if your dick shrinks or your dick goes fucking limp. I've been on the aspect of that as well. It's fucking horrible and quite embarrassing when it comes down to the performance.
You know, the hardest thing about that is where your sex drive's gone through the roof. You literally, all you want to do is have sex. You want to come, and you can't because there's nothing you can do other than take a blue pill.
I used to take cocaine with Viagra.
Yeah.
And it fucking
balances it out.
Details.
But then if you haven't got the Viagra, you know, and you're trying, you're talking an 8-hour night of trying to get it up, and it's frustrating. And I think that's what builds to anxiety and fucking.
And then it can build a lot of anger too and frustration, and it's not good. Yeah. It's not like it does. It fucks you up. I honestly, I'm done with that shit. I will never ever take cocaine ever again.
I will never put cocaine in my body ever again.
No,
do you know what the problem is? You used to, like, we'll get it on a Friday night. You'd have a fucking banging night Friday night. It'd be the best night of your life. Fucking great. You had loads of sex or whatever you're doing. So then you think to yourself, Saturday, right, I want to get a bit more of that because I fucking enjoyed it. All right. So then you do it Saturday.
You can get a half gram of cocaine, 50 quid. A gram, £100, right? That's a lot of money for... It depends on how big your lines are or how big your tolerance is.
Yeah, if you're not doing sluggers or anything and you're just doing little bumps, then yeah, it's ideal.
See, I've never done little bumps in my life. It's always been slugs, right? And you take that first one and it's like, whoa, that feels good. Yes, I like it. Go do this and that, chill out. And then you start feeling like you want another one. And it's only been maybe 25, 30 minutes. It's like
20 minutes. I always said 20 minutes. It was a 20-minute
right?
thing. Yeah.
I built up an intolerance that I actually went through a stupid amount of cocaine in one night on my own. It was fucking stupid. And the intolerance was so high that I had to get going, bombing the fuck out of it, snorting the fuck out of it. It's horrible. And it does fuck up everything in your life. Some people can control that aspect of it, but honestly, they don't. They might.
Well, I went through the stage. like I said, I would do a £300 to £400 weekend. Then I'd be cancelling work on a Monday or a Tuesday because I couldn't cope with the come down afterwards. And
I've never had to come down because I've always been on it.
no, but I'm talking like obviously I'm talking about my aspect of it. The problem is as well is like when we would you buy £100 worth of cocaine one night, then you need to buy the alcohol to fucking ride it out. Then you need to buy the fucking Valium to bring you back down, or then you need to fucking buy the weed that's going to fucking cause you to fucking chill out. You know, it starts off as £100 night and ends up as £150, £200 fucking night because of the other aspects of what you need to put in your body to stop you wanting more of that stuff. You know, and don't get me wrong, man. I've been through nights where it's like I've banged fucking 2 grams in a night and then literally phoning the dealers at 3, 4 in the morning to get more. And it's like, that's fucking not right, man.
I've always had access to it. Not getting into details, but I've always had access to it. I've always managed to get it. I've always had it. And honestly, 2 gram was never enough for me. It was always ranging between an eighth or even half an ounce. So an eighth is 3.5 gram, half an ounce is 7 gram. You know,
it's insane.
Half quarter.
Yeah, it's insane the prices though.
Yeah, well, that's it. So for those that don't know, right? So for a half gram, which is a 0.5, sometimes it's a 0.4, you're getting that at 50 quid, right? So a gram of that.
It was never on point either, was it? It was always on point.
So if you were getting a gram, it was either 0.8 or it was a full gram. It was still 100 quid.
Yeah.
An eighth it was 3.5 gram. That's 250 quid. A quarter at 7.5 gram. That was 450.
Yeah.
A full ounce.
800 quid.
You were looking, depending on where you were getting it, who you were getting it from, how long it was stamped, ranging between 1,200 to 1,500 for an ounce. You know, so it's a lot. It's a rich man's game, and there's a lot of money if you do it right. But nobody can ever control that aspect of it, and it does fuck up your life.
And the thing is that like there is people out there that can do go and have your fucking half a gram nights and then never have to fucking touch it again till the next weekend or 3 weekends. But you know, there is people that do it every single night, and there is people that get in serious fucking troubles with it.
You can grab your coffee if you want.
Yeah, sorry.
9 o'clock on the dot. It's 10 past. She's late, dude.
Thank you, Kev. Sorry, guys. What I was saying with that is there's people out there that can do that, carry on with their lives, and then go back to work on the Monday and nothing's changed. But there's people that do it like continuously. And the problem is when you do it continuously, that's where it gets into the bad side of fucking drugs. That's where you get into the evil side of it. And I'm not talking about the drug itself. I'm talking about the people involved with the drug. This is where it can get out of control and out of hand. I'm sorry to say cocaine is probably one of the most evil fucking drugs out there. Yeah. Not like the work side of it. So the dealing side of it and the big side of it and stuff like that is a very evil place to be.
I wouldn't know.
No, of course you don't. But what I'm saying is, but you get where I'm coming from. There is a fucking horrifically nasty side to it.
It's, you know, it's weird as well because obviously it's highly illegal. It's a Class A drug, right? But hospitals in the UK, believe it or not, still use cocaine. It's a liquid form of cocaine. And if it's often put into a cotton ball, it's heated up a little bit, and it's used for most people when it's operations around the mouth or the nose. Yeah. And honestly, it's still used in the UK. It's used throughout the world in hospitals. But in the UK,
it's called Novocaine, is it? Novocaine, they call it.
No, it's still cocaine. It's still cocaine. Okay. It comes under cocaine on the bottle, on the vial, but it's a liquid form. You could take the liquid form and inject it, and it gives you probably an hour's high.
Yeah,
but it can kill you because it's quite clean. Yeah. It's not stamped. It's not fucking mixed, or it's not.
Oh, it's pure, man. You're looking at pure fucking aspects of it. Not like the bullshit that you can get on the streets now, which has been cut to ribbons with
That's
stuff.
That's exactly it. So I know that most hospitals, they'll
it wasn't ingredients in Coca-Cola, yeah. It was. Sorry, I was just agreeing with what Hal said. It was actually in Coca-Cola back in the.
It was, yeah. Because
1890s.
yeah, but in most hospitals, you're only getting 4 vials at a time.
Right.
So
Is that
you
for the
know,
whole
so
hospital?
when you get your stock and you get a mass amount of stock, when it comes to the cocaine aspect of it, it's always going to be 4 vials at a time per hospital. And
Uh-huh.
honestly, because it was liquid form, that's why. And it's so strong that you could take a tiny little bit of liquid, put it into a wee dish, heat it up on the cotton ball, and then get ready for your surgery, and it would numb your whole face.
Yeah.
It's fact. I've been around that before. I've seen that before.
Okay. What have you seen that on the professional side or the unprofessional side, should I say?
Both.
Okay.
Both. So cocaine has been something that I've been involved in a long time, and I stopped being involved in it last year. Actually, it's been probably a full year and a half, maybe now that I
I
haven't.
helped you. I helped you.
Yeah. So, but I will never put that in my body ever again.
But I think, like, obviously, with what you were saying, you know, from a very early age, you've been around it and you've been involved with it, and it's been in your body for, you know, and
Yeah.
now you're not taking it. The fact that you're now saying that you will never ever do it again, that's a massive factor in showing how bad this fucking drug is, to be honest.
Yeah. The last time I
Because
took it, I enjoyed taking it. I did.
yeah,
I like so I would like to take it, and I wouldn't go out. I wouldn't go out drinking. I wouldn't go out clubbing or fuck all like that. I generally I would like to take it in the house, maybe with a couple of lads or whatever. But notoriously, it was myself. I'd
yeah,
play the Xbox. I'd be on with the lads. We'd be fucking gaming. I'd be taking it. I'd be snorting it. But the last time I took it, it was horrible during the night because I started fucking feeling my heart going, my nose fucking blocked up for a good couple of weeks.
yeah.
My sinuses were fucked, my eyes were fucked. I even and I know for a fact it was fucking related to the cocaine, but I managed to contract like a dry skin rash from it because I took so much of it that my skin started fucking flaking and falling off. I was like, fuck, I'm never touching this again, never doing it again. So I will never put that shit in my body ever.
Like personally, I will turn around and say to you, you've changed so much from not doing it in a good way.
Yeah, I don't think I changed at all.
Yeah, you have massively.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have, dude. Yeah, you fucking have. I hope you fucking have anyway. But yeah, it's a fucking powerful drug. It's highly addictive. You know, I can pretty much say a lot of people here have tried it. You know, that if you are watching or are listening, even if you're listening afterwards, there is the fun aspect of it, and there is the fucking evil and horrible aspect of it as well. And I think a lot of people don't understand the actual underground root of cocaine and how evil it can be once you get fucking addicted to it, and what it can do to your family, what it can do to marriages, what it can do to your children. Like I've done it to the point where I've done it till 8 o'clock in the morning, promised my daughter I'll take her out the next day, and then told her I cancel because I've got to sleep. And that's embarrassing, man.
Yeah,
I am genuinely like,
does fuck up your life 100%.
Yeah, and it's like I'd rather sit there and do 100 quid's worth of fucking cocaine and take my child out for the day. That's disgusting in my eyes. And I've been there and I've done it, and I'm ashamed of myself for doing that. I genuinely am. So
I've been there. I have been there, and then you know what? My kids, my oldest is 9, my daughter she's 8, and my youngest will be 6 next week.
Yeah,
and I've missed parts of their life because I've been on that shit.
Yeah.
Nah, I'll never touch it again. It's horrible shit just to think about it right now.
Yeah.
So,
do you know, I'm so glad I'm at the stage where, because I was at a stage where I couldn't talk about it without wanting it, and now I can talk. Now I talk about it. I hate it even more. I talk about it.
I like it. I do, and I loved both sides of it because I was good at it, and I was good at doing what I did.
Yeah.
Without any implications, and I was ruthless when it came down to it.
Yeah.
But looking at it now, I wouldn't put it in my body now because of the way I felt last time. But at the same time, I don't like talking about it much anymore because you think back thinking like, because I know that cocaine gives you like an increased mindset, especially with me being schizophrenic. It brings your whole shit together and you focus, right? So your mind was always thinking, it was always going. And you'd think that you would remember things, but see, remembering things now, because I've not been on it, you remember how shit of a dad you've been, how shit of a partner you've been, how shit of a family member you've been.
It's exactly where I'm going with
And
it.
it's
Yeah.
like I don't like that, you know. Like
Like I said,
I strive to do
it's,
everything I can for my kids, and I was a fucking shit cunt.
and like I say, it is also almost being ashamed of things that you've done because of
I'm
trying
100%
to have a
ashamed.
good life. Yeah,
100%.
I am. I am. Do you know? And that's something I will always take with me as well, is the fact that I did that, and the fact that that became more important to me than other aspects of my life. And it's disgusting. It is shameful. But I'm 3 years clean now of anything like that, so I'm quite happy. So
I'm not as
um,
far as 3 years clean, but I am clean.
yeah, it's good, man. Any fucking step's a good step, man. You know, I spoke to somebody the other day who she said to me she was taking it for 22 years. She spent like 250K on it. And now she's homeless, bless her, at the moment. But she's finally getting sorted. But she's been off it for a year now, and she's far more happier being off it. And she was in the same routine as like she was dating a drug dealer, and it was just so easily accessible. But it's still, even if you're dating a drug dealer, there's still money involved. Do you get what I mean? You still have to pay for that. What's there at the end of the day? You don't, cocaine doesn't just come to you for free, and then you can like, oh, I'll just do a fucking. I'll do fucking a kilo's worth in fucking 3 months or whatever. Well, however long a kilo takes, right? And then, but you still owe for that kilo, and you owe some nasty fucking people for that kilo as well. That's the fucking scary side of
I
it.
think those kilos could range between 50,000 and more. You know, like that's a lot of money.
So, well, people would buy boxes and sell it. Like I'd always say, the better dealers were the ones that dealt with the big stuff. So they were the ones that got hold of the boxes, the kilos and stuff like that, and distributed it out. It's the people that had come down the levels where you're dealing with ounces and fucking grams and stuff like that. But the only way you're going to make money is doing it in the big way. That's how I look at it in cocaine, is the big selling. Because and a lot of people turn around saying, never do your own supply with whatever drug you're selling. Never touch your own supply, and that's some people, I've done it myself, where I've helped a few friends out, and it's the point where I've done enough to cover the costs of that. So say I brought fucking an ounce and sold enough, but I still cut it up to sell it, to actually be able to have some for myself and to cover that. But then I still was putting money into it. Do you get what I mean? That was how fucking bad it was. So,
I'm not going to get into too much aspects of.
No, that's cool, man. I'm quite happy to talk about it, because
the things I've done, and I'm not going to. Definitely not putting that on camera, but no. Yeah, so that was one of the main ones that I wanted to put down, was because it's really enjoyable and people do abuse it, and it does help. But I put that down there because of the medicinal purposes as well. And you know what? It's such a drug that everybody's used to.
Do you know what the thing is? The hard thing about saying about like talking about drugs is the fact that I think any drug, if you do it to moderation, is okay. But it's when you abuse it, that's where it becomes the fucking problem.
Yeah,
that's where
absolutely.
Yeah.
I have one more drug I have, and this is my favorite one. And I would do this in a heartbeat. I love this shit. It's not addictive in any way whatsoever. It is 100% natural. It's not weed. Anybody thinking I wasn't going to put down weed, because everybody knows what weed is. The only thing that people probably don't know about weed is the different strains. So for this one, it's actually shrooms, magic mushrooms.
Psychedelic.
I love magic mushrooms in all aspects of it, right? So it's natural. It grows everywhere. Everybody knows how to grow it. Everybody knows how to fucking to harvest it, to forge it. It's legal in the UK, or at least it is in Scotland, to go out, find a magic mushroom, pick it and eat it there, and then take it home, do what you need to do with it. You could do it in front of a police officer. In Scotland, it's legal because it's classed as forging, and the civilizations have been using it for fucking centuries in all aspects of medicinal purposes, wanting to speak to the gods, wanting to connect to their ancestors, even in battle tranced fucking enragement. Like, I know anybody who knows anything about the Vikings, you had the berserkers. They were the big cunts running around with a fucking battle axe, half naked, fucking face paint on. Even the Scottish Highlanders, they did that as well. Half the time, they would take a clump of mushrooms and take it, and they would go for it.
Yeah.
You know, like the government and medical officials, the law, they all put it down as there is no evidence of it helping anybody medically. It's bullshit, because the evidence is it's there. It's in centuries. It's in history books. It's there in cultures. It's in cultures even today.
I think what it is with that kind of thing that they're saying that is because mushrooms are very, it's not controllable by the system, because like you say, it is grown anyway. You know, that you can find mushrooms here, there, and everywhere. It's not something that can be controlled by a system. It's not something that's grown in an attic, say weed or something like that as well. You know, like I literally now know a place where I could go and pick them right now, but I'm not going to. But I'm just saying it
You should do it. And you know what? If there was, sorry, I'm just going to read what Hal said there.
I was just looking there.
Yeah, they are. So if there was any drug that I would promote, then it would be magic mushrooms. And you know what? It's not implementing myself in any way. But in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to have a magic mushroom, and I am. And you know what? It helps in every fucking way about mental health, mental stability, even to relax yourself after a stressful endurance. Magic mushrooms are the way forward. There's so much fucking medical history there that government officials will just not acknowledge. And the reason they won't acknowledge it is because they can't tax it. They can't tax something that's naturally grown in your back garden or in the field next to your house. You know, they can't tax it. So
that's what I'm saying. There's no control over
it. Exactly. I can't fucking pronounce it. Was it the psilocybin, the aspect that gives you the hallucination, the magic mushrooms?
Yeah. I think, like Stretch just said, it is actually illegal for magic mushrooms in the UK. So obviously Scotland's got different rules and stuff like that, but I think you're allowed to pick them. Is when you start. I can't remember. There's a certain thing with magic mushrooms in the UK where the legalities come into it, but to me, psychedelics, I'm very wary about taking them. Like I say to Jace, my mind's very crazy place as it is, let alone with something adding to it, if you get what I mean. So I'm very wary about what I'd say. Again, like losing control and stuff like that really scares me. So
see, like just with Charlotte saying there, magic mushrooms, just like every other drug, comes with bad trips. It's bad trips, it's not bad effects. Panic, disorientation, vomiting, dry mouth, and sometimes frustration. So you're saying there, like, was he really bad at it? Did he have bad trips? Was he mixing it with something else? I would promote shrooms in a second. I would promote it. Honestly, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of years of clear history on helping people with schizophrenia and mental health. So long as it's not abused, that's something I should say. Just because I think it's great to do, it's legal, it helps, it doesn't mean it needs to be abused. As soon as you start abusing it, that's when it can become an issue.
Remember, guys, what we're saying as well is that this is our opinions. Please take
100%.
We're not saying go out and take fucking magic mushrooms. You know what I mean? This is something that Jace has done. He enjoys. He says he's never had a problem with. It's helped him out in many, many aspects. But we're not promoting anything on this. This is not promote. This is our own personal views on what we think is good and bad at the end of the day. So, yeah. Stretch just said it's not illegal to pick mushrooms in the UK. It's possession of mushrooms in the UK, so which is crazy because if you pick them, you're kind of in possession of them. So I don't kind of understand that.
It's true, but in Scotland, you can legally pick it and hold it in possession so long as you don't give it to someone.
Yeah,
because then that's classed as distribution, and that's
distribution. It's financial gain, and it's getting financial gain. From
if you go out and pick up a mushroom, it's classed as forging in Scotland.
Yeah.
I think that's where laws different here in England, because you guys have common law, we have Scots law. It's a lot different up here. It's the foraging aspects well, because we're so close to still our old culture up here that we magic mushrooms is used up here still, in some pagan cultures. The Outer Hebrides, they use them still for ancient rituals. I know somewhere up here in the Highlands they still use them for it as well.
I've never genuinely looked at it
ex
much
seems
in
to
the
be
UK. I've never looked at it in the UK. I've never heard many stories about, oh, I got busted with mushrooms on me or anything like that. I think it's very much like it is with cannabis these days. If you're caught with a gram on you, mate, you're just given like a slap on the wrist and told to move on, you know. But like I said, I don't really know much about the mushroom side of things down here.
But like, so just with what you were saying about the possession thing, I think the possession of it is only an English thing, because in Scotland you can possess mushrooms, but now a law has just been passed, and I don't know if it's just been passed in England, and this goes for cocaine as well, that if you're caught with an amount that leads to personal use, you're not incriminated.
What is personal use though? You've just turned around basically before this and said you've taken cocaine to the levels of fucking 3.5, 4
that's
grams.
Not, yeah, exactly. And that's not personal use. Personal use ranges between next to nothing up to a gram. And that's personal use.
Yeah.
That's where it stops. Depending on the severity of the drugs or cocaine, if you have a gram and it's clear signs that you're taking that gram, then that's classed as possession, and you're not getting criminally charged or fucked on it. And I think it's just to alleviate the law a little bit and to try and put people through rehab.
Yeah, no, I mean, Stretcher just said that it's actually a Class A drug here in the UK. So
yeah,
mushrooms. Yeah, I never knew that. I always thought it was Class C, to be honest.
Yeah, it's so like, it's shrooms can be different for everybody. But honestly, there's more good that comes out of shrooms than bad, in my opinion. And in most studies that have been conducted over the generations and thousands of years and stuff. Charlotte, your ex sounds like he's been abusing that shit and mixing it with something else, and clearly needs a slap. And I'll say happily on camera, if you need that to happen, you've got my number. But I generally I love shrooms. There's no addiction to it at all. But again, and I say this, abusing the drug isn't going to make it appeal to be better. Having it in small doses is fine. Last time I had shrooms was a good couple of years ago. I'll probably have one in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. It's weird because I look now and I turn around and I think to myself, there isn't actually a drug that I like doing. Like I've
Ecstasy
never
and shrooms mixed together. Sorry, man. Yeah. So right there, that's the recipe right there for fucking disaster. 100%. Ecstasy and shrooms at the same fucking time.
Yeah, that's insane. But then that's
if you're taking mushrooms, your best option in the house, in the fucking forest, a good group of people.
Yeah.
Good trip, good music. Even if you take mushrooms, sit on your fucking couch, watch a good fucking film. Honestly, the relaxation purposes, the fucking it recodes your DNA. Like if you've got schizophrenia, anxiety like I do, it really it recodes it, and it really creates a humbleness about you that you then appreciate someone else and appreciate shit, and it reduces anger as well. And I mean that helps for me anyway. And I do have a bit of fucking anger. I mean, we all know that.
Was telling my judge he was on it too. Ecstasy.
I think he needs a fucking slap, Charlotte. You need to send me his address.
I think she's doing all right now without him, so I don't think anything needs to start again. So
true, but I mean, I like to do it for fun.
Yeah. But yeah, and also, guys, just before anybody starts going, well, I thought you were going to talk about this. We're not going to mention cannabis tonight because we are going to do another podcast later on down the line where we're going to talk about CBD and actual cannabis and THC and stuff like that. We just thought there's so much you can talk about with cannabis that We don't want to just like literally close it and make it a smaller part. So I genuinely think we could do a whole podcast on that alone. And we're also looking at hopefully getting somebody in to talk about it as well, which Jace is going to talk, like, get into that, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I've got a guy that's got his own company. It's Nordic Botonics. If anybody wants to look it up, it's here in the UK. The guy, his name is Liam Gooding. I talk to him on a regular basis. I have his book. It talks about fighting depression and shit. Now his company is based around CBD substances, and it's actually used by Scotland's strongest man. It's used by England's strongest man, Europe's strongest man. There's CBD rubs, CBD options. I would promote that on a daily basis, but we are going to get that into a different podcast on that, because hopefully we're going to get him in on the podcast at the same time.
So, sorry, going back to mushroom Hal, sorry, you were taking it for sleep issues and tinnitus. Was that mushrooms that you're on about? And that made me in the end.
No, I think he was talking about amitriptyline. We did do the prescription side of shit at 8 o'clock, Hal. Everybody that's watching, it is 8 o'clock. The podcast is going to start now, and it's mainly because
if you go back after we finish and you can re-listen to it, we do talk about antidepressants.
We had antidepressants and antipsychotics.
Yeah, so we have already talked about that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to move on to something. Is there anything else you want to say about shrooms?
No,
dude?
absolutely, go for it.
We're just going to move on to another thing that this one's, it's not affected me directly, but I know people that have been through this kind of stuff, and it's probably something Jace will agree on as well, and something that's actually extremely addictive, and that's going through opioids. Sorry, so we're talking about the stuff like your morphine, tramadol, fentanyl, methadone, diamorphine, fentanyl, and what else is there? Obviously heroin. We're now going down the levels of this is extremely highly fucking addictive bullshit. I genuinely, the hardest part for me is that I know people that take opioids to help with pain, and they've got to the point where the pain's there, but they're still taking the tablets and they could take more. That's the scary part. They could take more, but they're taking enough where it's like borderline fucking gonna kill you, if you get what I mean. It's absolutely insane, but they know if they take any more, you're gonna end up having a fucking overdose and die. But for natural things where it's like this is for pain, they're taking it for pain. Basically, they're not taking it for any other reason than pain. But then there's people out there who are obviously taking opioids for pleasure as well, or for sleeping and stuff like that. It's a scary thing to get involved with, and at first it feels. I've taken tramadol. I've actually taken tramadol to have a fucking time, and it is actually fucking. It stops all the pain receptors kicking off, and it helped me get through
tramadol through prescription. I may have abused that for.
No, I took a tramadol to help with pain of having a tattoo done. And I'm openly admitting that it is, but that's abusing the fact of what that fucking drug is for.
I abused it with alcohol, and it had a different.
The problem with that's the major, like, mixing it with alcohol is fucking dangerous, man.
It's hard. I don't recommend doing that with anything.
Like,
to be honest.
And I'm not just talking like that. It's extremely fucking dangerous to mix alcohol with any kind of opioid, like especially with tramadol. Or fentanyl or something like that as well, but what I think a lot of things where I look at like the drugs and stuff, like where I could go into like the CBD side of things where people talk about smoking weed so great for pain and stuff like that, but then you find that a lot of people that are talking about it are the people that are smoking it to get fucking high. They're not there to fucking do, that's just abusing it in my eyes. And I'm not having to go at anybody to do what you want to do, but in my eyes it's like the people that shout and scream about how great fucking weed is, but they're doing it just to get fucking high.
You know what? I have never ever smoked anything in my life, from cigarettes to weed, whatever. Never.
Have you ever thought about it? Has it ever crossed your mind?
I thought about weed. That's it. But I've never smoked weed, but I would promote weed on any aspect.
Have you ever done like fucking like cakes, like hash cakes?
Yeah, I've had edibles. Yeah.
Okay. So you do know the effects of.
Oh, yeah, no, I do, but I've never smoked. But I would promote weed and shrooms on an instant.
Yeah, but then 100%. This is where I was getting to the point of like there's promoting weed and stuff like that for a medical side of things, but I wouldn't personally fucking promote it just to get fucking blazed. I'm not into that kind of thing. You know, if you want to get high on life, man. You know, but it's like what annoys me is the whole people. What I'm saying is what annoys me is people that scream and moan about how great fucking cannabis is, but they're doing it just to get high. They're not doing it for the medical side of things. If you get what I mean. You know, I personally think fucking cannabis is amazing for cancer treatment. Everything, yeah, everything. It's fucking phenomenal. But in my eye,
obviously, cannabis is a little bit stronger on, as you say, the cancer side of stuff. Shrooms won't do that, but shrooms is more mental, and cannabis is more medical. If that does that make sense? That makes sense, right?
Yeah, to the point. There's different like points about it. If you're going to sit there and use it to abuse it to get stoned and use it for the THC side of things,
yeah.
Tanisha just said weed does nothing for pain. If you ask me, but have you been a constant smoker of weed? This is what I'm saying. If you've never ever fucking touched weed in your life,
with
and you
that, right?
I'm not having to go at you either, T. If you want to smoke it, fucking, this is my view on it. I'm not against weed. I just get annoyed with the fact that so many people will scream and shout about how great weed is, but they're actual just stoners. They don't give a fuck about the side of the pain side of things or anything like that.
The medical side of weed is actually diluted a little bit, just like what Charlotte's saying there. And I know that because I know someone that gets medical weed here in the UK because that's legal now.
Yeah.
But also medicinal weed from America, Canada. I know people that have it, and honestly, it is diluted more than it is than buying it from a dealer.
Yeah.
With T there saying about weed does nothing for pain. I like so this is where the CBD stuff comes in. Nordic Botonics, they sell a CBD rub, and so if I be at the gym and I'm feeling the chest or the arms or whatever, the CBD rub, you chuck that shit on, and honestly, it works for your muscles. It relaxes your muscles enough to kind of alleviate the pain a bit. And I know that that's not always the case with the THC stuff, but when THC is diluted from it, it really does help for pain. But that's just because I've used it that way before, you know, and it does work for me that way. But again, I've never smoked it.
Sorry, guys, I literally went off on a different tangent about. I was obviously talking about the addictive side of fucking like morphine and stuff like that. I didn't mean to go off onto CBD. Like we say, we want to do a whole fucking thing about medical cannabis and stuff like that eventually.
Yeah, so we will get there. We will do that.
I will pull away from that just a little bit, but obviously, so the scary fact about the opioids and heroin and morphine and the tramadol and stuff like that is the fact of the addictive side of it. You know, once you get to a point where I wouldn't say even just abusing it to the point where it is part of your life, like people with back pain, people with autoimmune disease, stuff like that have to take tramadol for the rest of their lives. You know, there's a lot more side effects due to taking these kind of fucking tablets at the end of the day. And to actually want to come off, I know people that genuinely want to come off them, but they can't because of the fear of the pain coming back. And that's fucking heartbreaking in my eyes. It really is heartbreaking. You know, they know they're taking this stuff. It's almost like they're taking it that much that they don't know if the pain's there anymore. Do you know what I mean? But the scary side of it is if I come off these, is the pain going to come back even like 10 times harder and stuff like that? So I get it, but that's the addictive side of things. That's where you don't want to give up on stuff. And it's very upsetting, and especially seeing people that you genuinely fucking care about that are taking it and stuff like that. And when they've actually talked to you about it, how much they want to come off it as well. That's fucking heartbreaking. Which again, you know, I've seen like a best mate of mine through school that's turned around and started doing heroin when he got into his 20s, and I see him now. He's a fucking wreck, man. And he was such a fucking good lad at school. He was such a nice guy, and he is a fucking wreck. And it's like it's literally a ghost of a man walking around now, you know. And it's horrible because he'll come and say, "All right, Kev, how you doing?" But he's not doing it for any benefit of talking to me or anything like that. He's hopefully trying to lead in something else where I give him a bit of cash so he can go and get another fix, you know. But I never give it to him anyway. But it's just heartbreaking seeing what addiction can do to some people. It genuinely is. But I don't know if you've been around anything like that as well, Jace, or
I have actually. You know what, because of my family history on both sides, I've always been around aspects of that side of life.
Yeah.
So yeah. No, Charlotte, this is actually a back scratcher. And it
It's a
extends.
bull fucking scratcher. You know he's fucking. You
I
know that's
scratch
been on
my
his
balls
testimony.
with this. I scratch my ass with this. Honest to God, right? I know when you got nails or whatever, and you're scratching your ass. Yeah, it's nice. But see when you got something metal and you're scratching your fucking ass. Holy fuck! I sit there for a good 10 minutes scratching away myself. It's so good. I'm like a dog, man. Honestly, I sit and scratch myself with this. It's so good. But you know, there's a part in your brain, right? As if so. If say I've got an itchy hand and I go to scratch it, that part in your brain tells you that you've got to scratch someone else. So you go to scratch that, and then all of a sudden you're scratching all over because your brain's telling you, and you're not actually itchy, but it feels good and it's fucking great.
The fun part about that, Charlotte, is the fact that he sat there scratching his beard, his face, and his head, and then just talked about scratching his ass for fucking 10 minutes with it. Imagine
It's amazing.
Oh god, I can just see the fucking arse hairs going back into his beard now. That's fucking amazing.
It's causing it to be thick.
Yeah, that greasy substance. That's fucking.
Well, I mean, it works.
So yeah, we were talking about addiction and stuff, and you said something, Jace. You've been in a situation with people with the addiction, or before you went onto the tangent about fucking back scratches.
I've been around a lot of people with addictions. It's crazy. I think I know one person that's had an addiction on crack, which obviously is not opiates. I know someone that had an addiction on opiates. I know someone that had an addiction on crack and still does, and it's a bad one too. Like it rattles it's rattling. You know when he doesn't get his whole thing. See now I'm fucking back scratcher. It's fucking. I just want to scratch everything now. I'm wearing these fucking cool as fuck hippie trousers, so I can't actually get to my fucking balls to scratch. And I've got that phantom scratch that I just want to fucking grab them and pinch and roll the sack.
Pinch and roll, yeah, we all know about pinch and roll.
Pinch and fucking roll, baby.
Yeah. That's a fucking bloke thing, 100%.
Pinch and fucking roll is the best way to go. Fucking pinch and roll right now. But,
the problem with opioids and stuff like that is a continuous feeling of pleasure or pain relief can lead to wanting to continue the drug, but obviously leads to addiction. That's basically the fucking scary side of it. And unfortunately, it's just one of those things. It's one of those things. I think again, what we were talking like with prescribed drugs earlier, is that it's so easy for a doctor or somebody to prescribe something like tramadol or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
Again, that's highly addictive and it can lead to other problems. That's the fucking major slag about it, basically. So, but anyway, because I haven't personally experienced any kind of addiction with opioids, there's nothing really more I can talk about that, to be honest. I don't know what else. Is there anything else that you've got? Stop scratching your fucking back for crying.
I'm into it now. Like, this is the point where I want to take a
magic mushroom. You're not on fucking heroin. It's like
I'm like a fucking bear, dude. Like, I need that magic mushroom now. I want to scratch myself on the fucking couch or the carpet. I'm just gonna, you know what I'm gonna do when nobody's fucking looking. These hippie trousers are coming off. I'm gonna plank my ass on that floor. I'm gonna like a dog, and I'm just gonna drag myself across the fucking floor.
Oh, for fuck's sake, he's got worms, guys. He's got fucking worms, man.
You know what? Have you ever scratched your asshole? It's nice.
Everybody's fucking had a good itch at their a good dig at their ass. Do you know what I mean?
Do it with a metal back scratcher, dude. It's nice. Until
I'm not.
You go
for the love of God, man. For the love of God. Was there anything else you had wrote down or? No,
that was pretty much it. I only had the 3 and 3, basically.
Yeah.
And the personal views on it, obviously.
Yeah, no. It's but guys, thank you so much for your input as well. We really appreciate it, man. And like I said, it's good that a lot of you are disagreeing with the thoughts of mushrooms and stuff like that. So that's really cool. Yeah.
So like we've said before, right? Every podcast is going to be an hour, maybe an hour and a half at a push. Because this episode hits a lot of people in all different aspects. and personal views on the aspects, we've managed to go from 8 o'clock straight up to what is that now, 10 to 10, and that's fucking
Cowboy
what,
time.
it's been a good it's been a good episode, and I'm happy to quit it there. Unless you've got anything else you want to chat about.
Not really. No, I can't. I think there was one thing that I did want to talk about, but I think that could be part of another thing that we're going to go into. So I'm going to hold back on that one.
Okay.
I can't remember. What did we say we were going to discuss next week? What was the topic?
Next week we were thinking about discussing food culture.
Food culture, yeah.
So obviously we've had the brotherhood, we've had the drugs, we've had the banter throughout all as well. We don't want this to be a massive thing where it's always going to be serious. Let's fucking face it. The only time I'm serious is if I wanted to throw a tomahawk at some cunt's fucking face. So next week we're going to talk about food culture, from English delicacies of what? Fucking toast. To us up here with haggis.
Toast. Hold on. Toast.
I don't.
Is that all you can say about the UK fucking food industry is toast?
No, haggis.
Yeah, no. But you said like, oh, in England, toast, and then haggis. Do
Give
you
me
not have toast in Scotland?
That's English.
Have you not got fucking toast? Do you not have toast? Is that like a frown thing up in Scotland?
Oh, we have toast, but it's not. We're not renowned for it. You give me something that's renowned in England.
Scones.
Oh, I'm so fucking sorry.
Come on.
Fucking scones. Calm down, man.
A cream tea. Come on. We all fucking like the cream tea.
A tea and scone. That is the most English thing you could ever fucking say.
There you go. Exactly. Not fucking toast, man. That is just like the shittest thing to fucking toast.
Toast. Yeah. Why not?
Fuck. Right, guys, what we need you to do is when this podcast ends, if you're still hanging around, go into the comment side of it, not the actual what you're typing in now in the chat, but go into the comments thing and mention things, food cultures, like you're saying, pie and mash and stuff.
Hal's
like
already
that.
on the case, mate. Look,
yeah. Put it in the comments.
Scones, and this kind's all about fucking pie and mash. Toad in the hole. Yeah. Why couldn't you say something manly like that? Scones.
Because I live in Devon, mate, where it's fucking rife down here, man. It's rife to have fucking scones in
for
Devon.
Refugees, you can't fucking fuck off, scones.
Jeez, oh sorry, haggis.
Haggis is a way fucking forward. Haggis is a fucking excellent.
I genuinely like haggis, and we were talking about that earlier.
I love haggis.
But, yeah, guys, once the podcast ended, go into the comment section of this post and put as many fucking food things that we kind of want to look to, like the things like what we would try that nobody else would. Like there's people out there that eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
I'm going to go down the aspects of foods that I have tried. And I've tried some dodgy fucking
I've been Thailand and everything, so I've tried some
weird ass fucking crap. Like I've put a lot of dodgy shit in my mouth gigging.
And also like the fucking, you know what, you remember the days where you're like literally skinning and you just look in your fridge and you make a concoction. I can't even get my fuck. Like
concoction.
Thank you. Fucking Scottish cunt. Of
look, because I can fucking pronounce a word. Good English. Hey, I'm going to pick up a fucking dictionary from the shop. What's it called? Dude, the English dictionary.
I'm still not fucking well. Come on, I'm not well. Give me a fucking break here. But you know, like when you're really fucking skinny and then you like make these fucking food potions up with different, what you've got left in the fridge basically and stuff like that. So,
all of a sudden you felt like fucking Gandalf the Wizard. Bringing forth all this fucking, this is pasta, this is butter, this is smoked sausage. What can I make? Fuck it, we're gonna mix it together in a fucking blender and drink the shit. And
then it's really nice when you never. And
then you tell nobody about it.
How you were talking about the surströmming or whatever. Is that the fish thing that you're talking about? Chase is still trying to get me to do this.
Is that fucking smelly fish thing?
Yeah.
Right, so. I'm up for it, but I'm not going to do it without Kev, right? So anybody that wants to see me and Kev almost puke our guts up and have severe vomiting from exorcism and bodily fluids and coming on each other, we're going to get this fucking fish and we're going to open it
on each other coming to this. Jesus Christ.
So you need to put down in the comment section for everybody to get Kev, vote Kev to get it. Because if Kev's going to do it, then we're going to do it together on camera. We're going to open it up together. The only issue is I don't want to do it in my fucking house.
But I can't
Yes.
eat it. I cannot.
I'm
eat
not
it.
eating it. I just want to open it and maybe put my tongue on one of the fish testicles.
I'm more than happy for you to fucking get it and open it and be in the same fucking environment as long as I don't have to eat flesh. That's what I don't want. So
To eat
Um,
flesh.
it's true. But it is I can't eat it, but I might get Chase to try it, at least a little bit of it anyway. But
I will put my tongue on it. I've had some dodgy shit in my mouth.
and he'll put the tongue on the fish as well. So we just get that.
I will. What's it? It's not. Is it surströmming? It's like
Yeah.
Oscars or something, though, isn't it?
No. I think it's actually called
Or Oscars or some shit. I'm gonna have to find it. I've got the screenshot on my fucking phone now.
Yeah. Ugh.
I don't want to do it in my house though. There's no way I want to do it in my fucking house. That
No, we'll
smells
go out. I'll tell you what we'll do, mate, is that we'll try and get a podcast going where we're in like we'll go up to the Loch Ness or something, man, and sit up there and fucking when I come up
Yeah.
to Scotland and we'll do it up there, man.
Well, we need to do it somewhere where the wind isn't going to blow the smell away. That kind of takes the.
Shut up, Chase, you fucking dickhead. I was
I
trying to get us
want to
away.
smell this shit.
You want to smell? Ugh. I can already feel the gagging kicking in
I
already.
can already see your fucking face, and you know what? I'm excited. So our plan, right, is can you drink it as juice? Yeah, let's try that. Let's take a shot.
I'm not drinking it. I can't fucking
shot.
drink it.
I'm
I'm not doing
you know
it,
what?
man.
I'll cut up a fucking lemon for you and a little bit of fucking salad, and you can feel like you're drinking a fucking vegan, whatever, a vegan concoction. There you go. You can be Gandalf for the day.
You just don't get it, do you? You really don't get it. Yeah.
A shot. A shot
No,
of fish
mate.
juice.
Mate, if you want to sit there and do a shot of fucking fish, fucking the thought of it now is making me fucking urge.
So the
You
plan
carry
is
on.
Kev's going to be coming up soon. I don't know how soon, but Kev is coming up. And what I'll do is I'll order it online because I know it's hard to get now because the whole fucking world seems to be having a complete fucking erection over fermented fish.
They must be fucking loving it, the people that make this stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Fucking fermented fish.
Look.
Oh,
Literally poor. That's what we'll be doing.
it's like fish in a crackhead, man.
Oh,
No,
disco
nice.
fanny. Disco
Disco
fanny.
fanny.
Okay. No, but yeah, stuff like that. We do like I said, we don't want to just hit the fucking serious side of fucking podcast. This is a bit of a serious one to certain aspects because we've both been through a lot of shit that's involved in drugs. But yeah, next week we want to have a laugh, man. So once because obviously the chat disappears once we've finished. So if any of you want to put some suggestions up in the comments on the video, so go back into YouTube, go onto the comments and put in all this kind of stuff that you're thinking, like foods that go together, basically. And then we'll have a good chat about it next week. It's 5 to 10 now. I think we will knock it on there.
I think that'll be us. That's a 2-hour long episode. That's fucking.
It literally didn't feel like 2 hours. I won't lie.
That went well, and honestly, guys, I appreciate everybody that stood by for that whole 2 hours. We waffled some shit.
Thank you so much. Again, this is on Spotify as well. So if you did miss it, it should go up on Spotify and be available tomorrow, I hope, Stretch, or maybe even later tonight. So if you did miss any of it, you can listen to it on Spotify. If not, you can always go back and watch the VOD afterwards. And like I said, if you can leave, tomorrow it'll be up. And yeah, just leave comments in the thing. Like you say, put the digestives and jam, and there's the debate that Alice was on about, what was it, waffles and fucking
Pancakes.
Waffles and pancakes, and like, so just put some comments up there. It's nice to see comments on there as well, guys. And because sometimes we see all this and then we finish, we have a little chat, and I completely forget about what people have wrote in the chat. So
my prof, don't even worry about it, dude. We did say it was 8, but honestly, don't even worry about it.
No, dude, it's not your fault, man. Honestly, it's the way it is. But at least you got in with us for at least a good hour anyway. So but yeah, it will be 8 p.m. every Wednesday. We're going to go for, guys. And if it does take off and it does go well, maybe we'll open it up to fucking twice a week or something. But that's later on down the route, whatever. Right, I'm gonna let this fucking itchy crackhead fucking go now. I'm gonna go
and scratch my ass so well it's gonna be fucking great. And you know what? I might even send you a picture.
I'll pass.
I know you want it. It's fine,
guys. Honestly, thank you so much for coming in. Let's all fucking meet up again next Wednesday and get together again and enjoy it. So much love to you all. Thank you very much from myself.
I love you all, guys. Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much and take it easy, guys. Let's knock it on the head there.